Hello, ladies, gentlemen. It's my Internet Today shirt. I still watch their show, even though they canceled Tugs, my favorite part of their show. As you know, immediately after the first anniversary video on February 19th, 2017, I released a 10-part series called Avon's Hardware that still exists today. The playlist is still up. Where in those 10 videos, I went through different consoles I owned in each video and the games I owned for it and how I acquired it. Obviously, my library has grown since then. Basically, the only reason I did that was to give myself some time to fix a technical issue I was having with one of the Paper Mario videos. I had to I found out that my audio commentary for that video was way, way, way too soft and you couldn't hear me. And I don't remember what happened, why that was. But what I had to do was I had to completely redo the video. But until I did that, I was wasting all of this time trying to figure out, okay, is it possible to put it through a program that will somehow separate the music of the game, the sounds of the game, and my voice? Should I just, mute everything and voice over it again? Oh, but I like the voiceover I already did. Oh, in the end, I just ended up redoing the fucking video. I didn't have all the backups of the separate raw footage and commentary audio at all. So the fact that basically all that happened, I forgot to click up on the voice audio and down on the game audio when I had it in the editor separate. And then months later, when it actually got uploaded, I realized there was a problem. I couldn't leave it up like that. So basically, these 10 videos gave me 20 days to figure out that issue and get Paper Mario Part 29. I think it was 29. Back up. I think it was like the General Guy boss fight or something. So that's how that started. I decided, since I'm ending this iteration, this form of the channel, and morphing it into something new in the vein of live streams as opposed to recorded content, that since I never really finished that series, or at least since that series needed some updating, that I would one last time go through the equipment I do have and show it off, explain where I got it, talk about the games I have for these consoles, and then never do a hardware video again. I'm just kidding. I'll even show myself building my new PC, which the box is all around this room, but it hasn't been built yet. And I'll probably live stream when I get some new content. Basically, all I don't have, and I'll get into what I do have, all I don't have is the Nintendo Switch, a Nintendo 3DS. I should get some form of PlayStation Portable, one of the PSPs. I'll get one of them. And then after that, I have I have a Genesis, I should say, and the extensions, and I do have the NES and the original PlayStation and the original Game Boy and all that. What I don't have is the stuff that came before that was a little less mainstream, such as the Atari. Well, it was mainstream for the time, I suppose. The Atari, the 2100, the ColecoVision, the Visual Boy, the monstrous Nintendo thing you put on your head. I don't have those, and I don't even know if I want those. I think this is good for me. The Atari games look like shit. The only thing I would want the Atari for is I think there's a certain Atari that can play the Namco games. Like Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galactica, Dig Dug. I would like that. But the rest of the Atari stuff is kind of shit. It was great for its time. Well, yeah, but it's still shit. The Genesis was great for its time, and it's still not shit. I could play it. It's fun. NES, same thing. NES is right in front of me. I'm gesturing over there. Without further ado, I've ranted long enough. I'm not going to edit this. I'm not going to do anything fancy in this. No fancy scripts. No fancy Tugs Chibi-inspired monologues like for the anniversary video, because I just recorded that today with my buddy Lionel as cameraman. We're going to go through what I have here. What end of the table to start on? I was actually planning on starting over here. I think I should start over here. What do you guys think? So over here, we have what is actually 3 consoles and a sticky note, apparently. 3 of Sega's original consoles. The reason why Sega went out of business, and there's a lot of people who said this, they updated their consoles too fucking frequently. And they put add-ons on the Genesis. This is 3 consoles right here, but they all plug into these two parts all plug into the Genesis. Let me explain a little bit better. So initially, you have, and this is the first thing I'm going to show off here. Oh, see, as you can remove this part here, this 32X extension, and you can remove the Genesis from the port on the Sega CD. You have the Sega Genesis here. Obviously, it plays the original Sonic the Hedgehog games, Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3. After the Sega Master System, which is another thing I don't have, which I don't think it really matters, Genesis is all I want. Because the Genesis can play the Sega Master System cartridges as well, if I remember it correctly, so it's all good. Genesis was their answer, I think, to the SNES and the original PlayStation, maybe? And they were competing with that, and they actually did pretty well with once they brought on Sonic, not before then. I have a Genesis version 2. There was like 3 different versions of the Genesis that came out. This is Genesis 2. I got the Genesis 2 because it's reminiscent of the one I had when I was a kid. Before it got trashed because it was, I guess, garbage. I don't know why it got trashed, actually. Maybe it stopped working. Although, the one I have now still works, so I don't know. Then you have the Sega CD. And the Sega CD, you have to plug it into the Genesis. The Sega CD and the 32X extensions don't work without the Genesis. They're meant entirely for the Genesis. So you plug it in like that. And instead of a cartridge that you put in here, they had CD games. Hence the term CD. So you would put in the CD, you could play games like Sonic CD was one of the games that existed. And a bunch of other shit. I think there was some Alien Isolation. Not Alien Isolation. Whoa. No, some Alien games based off of that movie that Alien Isolation is based off of that was out either for the CD or for one of the Genesis extensions. I have no idea. Then you have the 32X. This thing barely fucking works. What it does is you put it on here, and then you can play with Sega 32X cartridges, which is a special type of cartridge. It's, I think, a little slimmer than a Genesis cartridge. You put it in here. The only game I cared about that was used by this is Knuckles Chaotix, and I'll show off games later, or in a second actually. Knuckles Chaotix. Put it in the 32X. You would play it from here. This almost never works because you're counting on both the connection to from the cartridge to the 32X and on this finicky ass thing, 32X being housed correctly in the Genesis. I had to fucking boop, 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 boop 8 times. You need 5 different cables. You need power both for the Genesis and for the 32X, so 2 power cables. You need an AV that goes from the 32X to the Genesis, even though they're connected. You have to have a cable, video cable connecting the two. Then you have a video cable coming out of the 32X to go to the TV you're using, and it's the old, like the really old AV cable, by the way. You're also supposed to have static plates because there's some issue with static that happens here that could cause it to blow up, apparently. But I've never had that issue. Just don't put it on a carpet and rub it back and forth, and you won't blow up. Okay, that's my tip to you, ladies and gentlemen. There was like another bit I think that you would put over the Genesis before you put the 32X in that would help. I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly. I researched this a long time ago, but I got it to work, so I didn't care after that point. I was like, fine. So yeah, that is the monster. That was the Sega Genesis CD 32X. Should've just kept with the Genesis. Fucking, they experimented. Experimenting is cool, but they experimented with too much fucking shit. Now, let's talk about games. Oh, and by the way, I also have the like Sega Genesis Classic. Basically, think of the NES Classic, but for Sega, and they came out with it decades ago, and it's been sitting in your local Walgreens on a dusty shelf ever since. Comes loaded with, I don't know how many games, maybe 40. It was like a 10th anniversary version or something. The wireless controller is kind of finicky. If you use the wired connection, it's really short. So it's not the best thing in the world. I'm sure the NES was a little bit higher quality. And there is often issues with the controller not putting in the input that you're putting in at all. So there's that. It's I think it was like $40 or something when I bought it. I don't know. It's literally just a side note. I didn't buy the NES, SNES Classic, or PS1 Classic because they made a classic version of the original PlayStation 1 as well. I might do that at some point just because it has games preloaded I don't have for the consoles and all of that. So, for just the Genesis itself, I have obviously Sonic 1, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3. And, you also have Sonic and Knuckles. Now, this was a special one. It was the lock-on cartridge. And for those of you who don't know what the lock-on cartridge is, you could basically... I think it worked for Sonic 1, but I don't remember for sure. I know for sure it worked for Sonic 2. You could plug in... Let me move this. You could plug in, not under the 32X, because that's not the appropriate thing, the Sonic and Knuckles game into the Genesis. And it's its own game. You play the game called Sonic and Knuckles. A little bit reminiscent of the game Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But what you could also do is, on this top part here, you could plug in, say, Sonic 2. Now you would be playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Knuckles, which basically is the same thing as playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2, except Knuckles is a playable character. And I think you could do that for all three classic Sonic games. I'm not sure if it was for Sonic 1 as well. Pretty sure that was it. Oh, by the way, for how I got these games, Genesis, Sega CD, and Sega CD and 32X. There's too many fucking consoles, man. I just got them all used on Amazon. The games, the original Sonic 1, 2, 3 games, I bought from this Toy Vault store. It's called the Toy Vault in the mall. It has a lot of cool retro shit, but they overcharge everything, man. And if you try to sell them shit, they don't give you your money back very well. Basically, like reminiscent of GameStop, the way they buy back shit from you. So don't do that. Just keep your shit. I sold a lot of PS2 games that, in retrospect, I should have kept. I don't know. They were taking up a lot of space, but I was an idiot. I was an idiot when I was in college. Bad decision making. Just keep the shit. Keep the shit. And I realized later that some of the games were really cool and I wanted them. Oops. Well, not terribly cool, but they were interesting enough. Yeah. Now for the 32X itself, I have one 32X game. Because those are all just regular Genesis games. And this is Knuckles Chaotix. It's basically you play as Knuckles and you have the three characters from Team Chaotix, like the ones in Sonic Heroes, where you have Vector the Crocodile and the Bumblebee guy, and Espeon. Except there was like a fourth dude on that team who basically was not a part of that same team once classic modern Sonic came into play, and they had the Sonic Heroes game. There was like one character from Knuckles Chaotix that kind of disappeared off the face of the earth. I forget who. And I'm not even sure if all three of those characters that were in Sonic Heroes were in this game. Maybe one was replaced. I don't remember completely. But so those are the Genesis 32X games. I have one Sonic CD game. This for later. And that is Sonic CD. So basically, if you remember the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, from when we were all at least when I was very young, where Sonic was fighting Metal Sonic. Metal Sonic is the antagonist in this game, and there's a lot of time traveling shit. You can time travel with it halfway through a level, which changes the level and how it's structured. Which I wasn't sure how to use that to my advantage, but I'm sure there's ways. So yeah, that's that game, and that's the Genesis. Let's move on to the Sega Saturn, which I also got from Amazon. This monstrosity here came out not too long after the Genesis, if I remember correctly. Again, they updated way too quickly. They used discs for the Sega Saturn rather than cartridges, although you could also put in cartridges and I think play Sega Master System games. Weird. It looks bulky. Sega Saturn. and it was huge, monstrous, even bigger than the Genesis, although it doesn't look it from all the add-ons I have added onto it right now. And I only have one Sega Saturn game. There's not a lot to have for Sega Saturn. Sonic 3D Blast. And wait a second. I have one more Saturn game. I hope I remember to edit this out. Give me 1 second. I have to go find it. Because I know I have Sonic Racing. Yes, I do. Sorry, when I was assembling this it slipped under a bunch of wires because I don't have the original bulky case. I have Sonic 3D Blast for the Saturn, which was also released for the Genesis, but Genesis is less powerful technically. And then Sonic R, which is a Sonic racing game that's kind of... Graphics aren't that great, even for like this era, and it's a little finicky and kind of a weird game design. But Sonic R, you race Sonic characters. Definitely not a Mario Kart or Crash Team Racing. Definitely lower quality than that, but it exists. So that's that. And then moving on to Sega's more powerful console. I wouldn't say it's greatest. I almost said greatest console. I wouldn't say that just because the Genesis for its time was fantastic, but you know. Definitely, it basically served as their answer. Like, it was around the same time as the... I think this was around the same time as the SNES, now that I think about it. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I think I'm misremembering all of this. I think the Genesis might have been competing with the NES. I read the history of Sega at one point, and that was a long time ago, and all of it just went right out my memory when I started studying more important things. So, we have the Dreamcast here. Takes CDs. Apparently, I have Sonic Adventure in it right now. With, like, chips of... Anyway, because I was going to do LP11 Sonic Adventure for the GameCube port. And I'd done everything except raise the Chow, and I realized that that's not going to be LP11, so I stopped bothering doing that. Also, I hate the raising Chow part in Sonic Adventure 1. Even in 2, it's a little bit of a drag. But this is the Dreamcast. I got this. So I owned one when I was a kid. I played Sonic Adventure 2 on it mostly. And I loved it. And the Dalmatians game and the Buzz Lightyear game. And in my aunt's basement one day, like, unused for years kind of in the basement, like in the back corner gathering dust, were 2 Dreamcasts. This one and a black one that's also... I don't have it right now in front of me, but I've shown it before. It's just in a closet. I didn't feel like putting 2 Dreamcasts on the table. That'd be too much flexing. And I was basically like asked to take it off, and I took it off their hands, and that's how I got this Dreamcast. And there was always a tinfoil hat conspiracy in the back of my mind that when my father got rid of the Dreamcast, that he had just given it to my aunt, and that's how it got there. But they don't actually remember how it got there. And there was 2 of them, so this one could have very well been mine when I was a kid. It's exactly the same model that I had, so that's just an interesting thing. And I don't have the controllers in front of me right now, but if you don't know the controllers, they have these memory units that have VMUs, virtual memory units, that have screens on them, and sometimes you can play little mini games on them. It's not really worth getting into. There was a little mini game where you raise your Chow on the virtual memory unit. The problem I had with it is that it was unresponsive because it was so old and probably beaten up a little bit, and the battery would just go like that. So I didn't bother too much with that. But on to the Dreamcast games. I'm just realizing now how long this video is going to be. So, in this little plastic wrap here, because I loved it so much, I this game, even though not everyone likes this game, A lot of people point out the bugs in it. Sonic Adventure 2, I also have the port for the GameCube, which is what I did my LP on, because it looks a little cleaner than the original on the Dreamcast. We have the Sonic Adventure 2 from 2001. Very cool. I'm going to slide that back into its lovely little protective case to keep it nice and clean and things of that nature. We have Sonic Adventure 1, which I actually didn't play until recently when I was practicing for what I thought was going to be LP11. And that game is really buggy, has a lot of issues. And if anyone likes this game, it's mostly out of nostalgia because it's kind of structured poorly, in my opinion. I don't know. There was a lot about it that I didn't like. Like, everyone likes to make fun of it, but the fucking fishing levels. Ridiculous. Let's not get into too much in detail about the games and their upsides and downsides, though. They have basically a Walt Disney World Mario Kart, is how I like to refer to this one, where Walt Disney World Quest Magical Racing Tour, you play as Disney characters trying to get bits of a giant Disney happiness machine to blow your happiness load over everyone. You race for these trophy parts, and you use items, like in Mario Kart, to fuck with people. It's great. The Buzz Lightyear Star Command game, where you are Buzz Lightyear fighting crime. Pretty self-explanatory. You fight bosses. 102 Dalmatians game. Cute if you're playing with your girlfriend. You know, I just get cute game. I don't know why I said it like that. I had a girlfriend. I was like, she's not that into games, but like she thought this was cute, so we played it together. I wasn't being condescending. I'm just saying it's very cute. Oh, very nice. Play a wonderful game about puppies saving other puppies with your loved one. That's all I was saying. 102 Dalmatians, puppies to the rescue. You fight Cruella de Vil. Nothing special there. You save puppies. You collect all the things. Collecting things is a fantastic way to make a game. Miss Pac-Man Maze Madness. It's like a 3D... It's basically a 3D world Miss Pac-Man. Like, if Miss Pac-Man was walking around 3D levels trying to collect all the MacGuffins. I haven't played too much of it. It's been a long time. I'd have to jog my memory since I played it. Probably won't play it for a long time either. Then we have Sega GT. Some sort of racing game, but if I remember correctly, I don't actually have Sega GT in here. Oh, nope, it is. Okay, Sega GT. Racing game for the Sega Dreamcast. A lot of cars, a lot of action, I'm sure. Not that into racing games myself. And then Generator Volume 2. Now, if you don't know what Generator was for the Dreamcast, was their demo CD. So basically, you play demos on this shit. I think this one had the demo for Sonic Adventure 1, which I have anyway. And maybe that Rayman game. Interesting. Rayman 2 or something. But let me put all that aside and move on to another console, because this is going to take a while. So we did all the Sega shit. Right? We did all the Sega shit. Let's go on to the Nintendo shit. Because there's a lot of that too. Right here. Right in front of me. Starting off with the classic NES, Nintendo Entertainment System. Woo! This one was a little finicky to get working too. The first one I got didn't work. I literally took it apart, dude. I was looking at all the motherboards, the circuitry and shit. Couldn't figure it out. Just ended up returning it, getting a new one. This one works. I'm happy as Larry. I got a blue screen of death or something. And for this, I only have 2 games. I have a cartridge for Super Mario Brothers, the game I really wanted. And this one that kind of came with the console I bought from Amazon, which was Pac-Man. So, Mario Bros. Pac-Man. Can't go wrong with those two. Very predictable choices for the NES right there. Got that right off of Amazon. Got the SNES off of Amazon too. Super Nintendo Entertainment System. And we got 2 games here for it. One, it came for it when I ordered the console. Some weird Super Bases Loaded baseball game signed by some Yankees player, it looks like. I can't read that signature. Ryne Sandberg. Okay. I'm sure he was relevant at some point in my lifetime. And we have the one I bought because I wanted it. Earthbound. But apparently there's an uncut version. So I never played Earthbound. I don't know the difference between the uncut and the cut version. So I just bought the uncut version because I'm in for the long haul. Usually. It came with a nice box and everything. I think it was expensive, but I don't remember because it was a long time ago that I bought this. and moving right along to the Nintendo 64, the big green monster itself. For some reason, it has a higher energy sticker. I don't know if it came like that or not. This was like the family thing. Like, so my cousins owned it, right? My older cousin and slightly younger cousin owned this. Then they got a new console. I don't know if, I think it was an Xbox or something. And they stopped using this. So this would sit in our grandmother's house, and sometimes we would have sleepovers and I'll use it. Well, I borrowed it so frequently for my own personal, like, in my house, playing Paper Mario or something, that when I went to college, I just asked to have it, and she was like, yeah, no one uses it anyway. My cousins were, my older cousin was thinking, well, I want it there for the kids so that they can use it, because he thinks, our 8-year-old younger cousins want to use it, but they don't. They have a Wii U, and they don't even use that, and they don't even play video games that much, so, like, it was just being unused. I'm like, taking it. So that's how I got the family N64. I basically pirated it from my grandmother, who got it from my cousin. So that's my grandmother is adorable. She has a Wii, and apparently she still uses it sometimes for the bowling because it gives her the exercise. You know, you swing it around. I don't know if she actually uses it a lot anymore, but apparently she did at one point. So for the N64, I have 27 cartridges. Some of them are duplicates. Almost all of them were from my cousin's loadout. He had these games. A couple of them I bought off of eBay or Amazon since I got it in college. One game I bought it when I had my dad buy it for me on eBay. And he didn't trust eBay. I was like, I don't know about this. But when I was a kid and when it was still theirs, I bought them that game so I could play it. Paper Mario for the N64 because I loved it so much. Let me bring it up. Shit. So this is the copy that I had my father order for my cousin's N64 on eBay when I was like 8, and I rented this game. It has the instruction book and everything because I used to read this instruction book over and over because I read instruction books as a kid, and I don't know why. Like, oh, look at all the colorful fucking shit and all the hints and tips that I already knew. I just liked reading it. Basically, yeah, this is the copy that I had him buy. And then I would borrow their N64 from where it stayed at my grandmother's house and play this game. And I completed it 100%, and I got all the badges. I was very proud of myself. So that's a nice, heartwarming story. Most of this shit that I'm about to show you, all these cartridges, which stayed in a Who But WB Mason box, a paper company box, that's like this forever. I don't know if I've actually showed this. I should show the box off just for fun. I'd have to go get it. Most of it was from them, and it stayed in there forever. So, oof, there's the first. I have 3 piles that are about this big. So the first one, obviously, Super Mario 64. Cousin owned it. That's how it got there. Then we got Mario Kart 64, again from my cousin's library. Classic. Donkey Kong 64. It's from my cousin's library, but he never actually finished this game. But I fucking finished it so many times. 201 golden bananas, please. Thank you very much. Remember LP7? I do. In fact, I don't think he finished Super Mario 64 either. We mostly played Mario Kart and Smash together. That's what we did. This game I actually bought a fucking week ago. Like, I'm not joking. A week ago, I might have met a girl who wanted to play Majora's Mask. So I bought this game. It has a holographic... Let me show you this shit. A holographic fucking face on it, and it's golden, and very cool. We haven't actually got around to doing that yet, but we hope to. We plan to get together to do that. But Majora's Mask, because I've never actually played... I played SNES Zelda for like 10 minutes. I think it was because it's in the Wii Smash Brothers Brawl Masterpieces menu where you can play a demo of Zelda, and that's what I did. So that's my fucking that's my experience with Zelda. Why am I looking at the microphone instead of the camera? Then we have Super Smash Brothers. The original was from my cousin's original loadout, and we've definitely played many hours with that game. Then we have Banjo-Kazooie. I bought this one in college after I took over the console. I pirated it from them. It's basically like a less good Super Mario 64. No, excuse me, a less good Donkey Kong 64. But it's still enjoyable. So don't let my saying it's less good deter you. And some people like it more than Donkey Kong. Personally, I like Donkey Kong more, but that's just me. Then we have Star Fox 64. Was them. Then we have Pokemon Stadium. I bought this one. And it was interesting. It's more enjoyable if you actually have a Game Boy and you bring your own Pokemon onto the game. Otherwise, you're using the rentals, and the rentals suck. The rental Pokemon. Then Battle Tanks 64 from 3DO. You fight with tanks. It's rated teen, even though there's like nothing bad in it at all. It's funny. Up until this point, when I was doing this video, it was sitting in a Blockbuster case. And I was like, that's not necessary. Let's throw out this Blockbuster case. But there's, like, they literally had it in a Blockbuster case, plastic, with the N64 Battle Tanks written on it. And I'm just wondering, like, did they steal that from Blockbuster, or did they just keep it after Blockbuster went out of business? Like, how did that happen? Or maybe, you know what, they probably just bought it from Blockbuster. I'm accusing my cousin of piracy over the internet. It's a very good idea. No, yeah, so that is that pile. Let's go to pile number 2. So that last pile, obviously, I have most of the classics and a lot of the favorite ones I play. But this one still has some good titles, like Toy Story 2 for the N64. It's nice. If you want, like, a younger kid's version of a collectathon like Mario 64, and, like, get all the magical MacGuffins, and one that's short, that's a good one. I enjoyed it. I played it in college, too. I was like, I'm not sure. No, they definitely had that. Right? I didn't buy that. They did. Or did I rent it? I can't remember anymore. I'm not actually sure. I think I might have bought this one. You know what? I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I don't think they had this. I think I bought it. And I remember it because I rented it as a kid. They didn't own it, though. Okay. Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Their game. Based off a Star Wars arcade game that was going around in the arcades when we were younger. Basically, you play through scenes of A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Then we got Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer. You race in pods. I haven't played much of it. It's pretty self-explanatory. Then you have, oh, wouldn't you know it? I have the game I showed you for the Dreamcast, Ms. Pac-Man Maze Madness. Same shit, different day. So I have it apparently for both the Dreamcast and the N64. I wasn't necessarily even aware of that. Then we got Pokemon Snap. You take pictures of Pokemon. People liked this for some reason. I'm not a huge fan, I guess. It was theirs. In fact, I think the rest of these were all there. Yeah, all the rest of the games I'm going to show you were all things they originally owned. So, there's that. Mario Golf. You golf as Mario. Apparently, that's a great game. Fantastic. People love it. And then, I can only assume this was Jesse's rather than Pat's. The Powerpuff Girls Chemical Extraction. So that's nice. We got RR64, Ridge Racer 64. Looks like a driving game. Never played it. Never even put it in, so I don't know. Wave Racer 64. Looks like you're racing on jet skis. Oh. How many different racing games can a console carry? That many. Then we got one last pile of cartridges. Most of these are either duplicates of the games I've already showed you, or games I just never bothered playing in. Like some sports games, baseball and basketball. I like, if I won't play a sports game, I'd rather play a football game. I'm not even necessarily good at that. And the last pile here, we got NFL Quarterback Club 2000. It's not a Madden game, so I can't imagine it's exactly like Madden. Or it looks even close to that kind of quality. Then we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. In fact, we have 2 copies of it for some reason. Skateboard game. I think you all know what that is. And we got here a baseball game, Major League Baseball, featuring Ken Griffey Jr. There you go. Then we got a hockey game, NHL Breakaway 98. Playing hockey, fantastic. And we have 2 copies of that for some reason. Oh, and then we have a spare Mario Kart 64. And we got a spare Pokemon Snap. So basically, there's like 3 or 4 of those 27 cartridges that were duplicates. Alright, now that we spent most of our life on the N64, time to move on to another game that I have significantly less games for. Another console. Oh, you always have to take a drink after the N64. I don't even have every great N64 game yet. That's the thing. Like, that library is going to grow at some point. It's crazy. N64 was a great console for its time. Hopefully I cut out the part of me blowing my nose. Anyway, then we have the purple lunchbox that could. The Nintendo GameCube. Which had everyone's favorite version of Smash. And their tiny ass little discs. Tiny discs like this big. And then when they went back to the Wii, they reverted the discs that are this big. So I wonder what the point of all that was. I guess discs that are this small are easily lost. And there's not necessarily a lot of added value to have a disc that's that small rather than this small. I guess shelf space, but here's the thing though. I would say shelf space, except the goddamn boxes for the discs are the same size, despite the disc being like this big. So what was the point of that? I don't know. Get to you later. So the GameCube, I have a lot of great, fantastic games like Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door, fantastic sequel to the Paper Mario series, and the last great Paper Mario game in the Paper Mario series. So there's you have that going for you. Then we have the 2 copies, one working, one not, except they both worked at one point. I'll explain. Let's not get ahead of myself. Of everyone's favorite Smash Brothers, Smash Bros. Melee, because everyone hated Brawl and they just why I kept playing Melee. This was so much money. Like 3 years ago when I got this, or 4 years ago when I got this, it was like you had to pay $150 for a used copy. Like, it is insane how scarce this game is, and how much of a demand there is for this game. First copy I bought and didn't test it for months. Then half a year after buying it, I tested it and it didn't work. I was like, oops, I'm screwed. I can't return it. I don't even think I tried. I should have tried. I can't return it. I paid a lot of money for it. Oops, I'm screwed. So I bought the second copy. Now, that was 3 or 4 years ago. Like, 1 year ago, I put both copies in and they both worked. Which I guess is great for me because it's a rare fucking game that people love, so good on me. Rare is the wrong word. Then we have the port, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, the port for Sonic Adventure 2. You've seen me in LP1 play that. Then you have LP9 over here, except GameCube version, Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc. If you want to play Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc to its greatest extent, you need the GameCube version, because it has more of the mini games. Okay, so I guess the mini games aren't the most important part, but also it doesn't necessarily. I think the Xbox one might look better, but the GameCube one might handle it a little bit better, if you know what I mean. Or and it also has the mini game where you like are playing. Me and Duncan and Jada and Shane did this modularly with one person using the screen, one person using a GameCube, which was interesting, and I liked that. And also, if you hook up your GameCube Rayman 3 to your Game Boy Advance Rayman 3, you unlock special levels in Rayman 3 for the Game Boy Advance that you wouldn't be able to otherwise. So that's really cool. Oh, I also have Super Mario Sunshine. Think the sequel to Super Mario 64 and the predecessor to Super Mario Galaxy. A lot of people love this. I also heard some other people say that all the levels are tropical, and it kind of makes it a little bit samey. Whereas other, like Super Mario 64 and Galaxy might have a little bit more variety. Although I wouldn't say Super Mario 64 had a terrible amount of level variety, to be honest. It had some. But I've actually never played it yet, and I should, because I own it. But that's just me. I think I played like the opening for like 15 minutes just to make sure the game worked. After my traumatic experience with Melee. So that's my experience with that. All right. Where do you belong? Down here. So that's the GameCube. Let's go on to the Nintendo Wii here. Actually, I have a spare Wii too, so I have two Wiis. Not for any real reason. So the story with that is, oh, by the way, GameCube, I just got it used on Amazon. Wii, my stepmother had a Wii. They got a Wii when I was in high school, and I was allowed to use it sparingly at times when it was appropriate or when they were out. Because they kind of countered my video game addiction when I was a kid by kind of setting some regulations on all that. But when I went to college, they gave it to me, so that was very nice of them. Or she gave it to me. It was very nice of her. And I got a spare Wii because my aunt had a Wii that they weren't using anymore. She was like, "Do you want it?" It wasn't like the Dreamcast where I actively searched for it and found it. You know what I mean? Like, I want this. You know what? I think for the Dreamcast, I found the games first. And I was like, I have to find the console. And then I eventually did. I was searching her basement for it. The Wii was like, no one uses this. Do you want it? Sure. So I took the spare Wii. It's fantastic. But anyway, games for the Nintendo Wii. Not a bad library here. Obviously, I'm going to have both Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2. LP5 over here. LP5 over here. Very wonderful updates to the sort of Super Mario Collectathon, get the magical MacGuffins line of games. We have Super Smash Bros. Brawl, which I spent way too much of my life completing and wasn't even recording myself doing that for some unknown reason. What? Like, the entire time I was doing that and obsessing over that, I was creating videos. Why didn't I create videos of me doing all of that? I had the ability to do that. Now I'm going to have to do it all again at some point in my life, and that's going to suck. But, there's that, bro. It's did it for like over 3 years, too. I skipped over some cartridges. We have Mario Kart Wii version of Mario Kart. Nothing too fancy to explain there. Then we have Donkey Kong Country Returns. I don't even have the original Donkey Kong Country for the SNES. I should have got it. It's a good game. You collect... So the bananas are cosmetic collectibles because they just get you, like, lives and shit. I think you have to collect the KONG in each level. I'm getting way too far in depth. It's Donkey Kong 60. It's Donkey Kong. It's not Donkey Kong 64. It's Donkey Kong Country, updated for the Wii from the SNES. Other people know more about that game than I do. I played it a little bit with Lionel, not recording. That's about it. I think we did like 2 worlds and that's it. We haven't gone too far into it. I played the Wii U Tropical Freeze version, or maybe it was the Switch Tropical Freeze version with Naskell, who you're going to see some Crash Bandicoot videos with me and him later, and you already saw some Smash Iron Mans with him. Super Paper Mario, the 3rd edition of the Paper Mario series, and was really a bummer when I played it. I played N64 Paper Mario first, then I played this, was bummed out. I played the GameCube one, Thousand Year Door, and loved it. The Wii version kind of jumped off a cliff. They threw away turn-based combat. They tried to make it both Super Mario and Paper Mario, which was a terrible idea. They tried to make it 2D and they changed it from 2D and 3D to be just like you switching between 2D and 3D, and it didn't really work. The story was okay. The characters were all bland and just fucking shapes, which was awkward as hell. There was just a lot of problems with that. Then we have the required new Super Mario Brothers, the Super Mario Brothers game, new Super Mario Brothers Wii. I played the DS one more than I played this one. I played this one with friends on my birthday once, and that's about it. I should get into that at one point. We have Driver San Francisco. This was a birthday gift back in high school from a guy named Grant, who I think might have unsubbed from the channel after I pissed him off in a political argument. But that's all unrelated. You drive around in San Francisco as a cop trying to sting criminals. You shoot tires. It's all fantastic. And it's like fucking Wiimote for shooting. So, I mean, which is fine. It is a fun game though. I remember having fun playing it. I wasn't very good, but I had fun. I completed the main story too. I didn't do a 100% run though because it wasn't good. We have Godzilla Unleashed. You fight Godzilla monsters. My cousin had a similar one for the original Xbox that I don't own, so that's that. Sonic and the Black Knight. It's Sonic, but he has a sword, and he's like fighting Shadow, who's apparently King Arthur or some shit. I don't know. Buddy had that, and they were playing it, so I bought it and haven't used it yet. Or did they give it to me? No, I bought it. I'm actually not 100% sure. Call of Duty World at War. I don't know how I ended up getting this. Oh, you know what? I think both Sonic and the Black Knight and this were left over from the Wii I took from my aunt when she offered it. So, like, it wouldn't possess me to buy a Call of Duty game for the Wii. I'd buy it for like an Xbox or PlayStation or something. Probably PlayStation. But that's that. And we have oh shit, why is this on the bottom? Oh right, because Xbox PS4 are probably better. Star Wars Force Unleashed 2. Basically the Force Unleashed, Star Killer, that series of games on the Wii, which I think is very different from the PS and Xbox versions. I think that was the Xbox 360 and the PS3 era, if I'm remembering correctly. Might be wrong about that. Might be misremembering that. Yeah, because it was the Wii. It was the same era, obviously. Alright, awesome. So that's the Wii. Jesus Christ. I did not even realize in the back of my mind I had so many Wii games. Moving right along here, we're almost done. Basically. And you'll see why. We have the Wii U. Update to the Wii. It has the gamepad. The gamepad's not there, but I have it, obviously, in the room. It's not worth... You know what a gamepad looks like if you know what a Wii U is. And we got just the basic multiplayer pack here. I bought this, like... I want to say around the Christmas time for myself. With multiplayer games that everyone plays. I'm not big on Splatoon, but I have Splatoon. It's not my favorite game of all time. But I played it. I played a little bit of the single player missions, which is funny. Most people just play it for the multiplayer experience. I should try that at least once. Then we have Smash Bros. For Wii U. Smash 4. Smash for Wii U. I don't have a 3DS, so I don't also have the 3DS version to hook up. Because you hook up the 3DS version of Smash, which is a separate game for the 3DS. And this one to get some extra content or some shit. I'm not entirely sure. So we have Smash for Wii U, because I don't have a Switch and I don't have Ultimate. And we got Mario Kart 8. Which, technically for the Switch, there's a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is a little bit of an update to this. But since it's not technically a separate Mario Kart game, it's kind of like an updated version of the same game. This is, for the moment, the most up-to-date version of Mario Kart, so I have that going for me. Alright. That's the Wii U. Now let's move on to the Microsoft and Sony face-off over here. We got the original Xbox, the fucking monster. I think it's the biggest it is the biggest console on this goddamn table. Look how big. It's bigger than the fucking Saturn. It's almost bigger than the Genesis 32X and CD put together. It definitely weighs more than all those three put together. So there's that. Let's show off the games I have for the original Xbox. Let's go. Story on this. This one I just bought. I bought from my high school friend in high school because he needed money and I wanted an original Xbox. And I kept it in my advisory and might have sometimes played it during lunch and after school. So that's fun. Let's get to the games here. Boom. We have Hulk 2003 LP4. It was my LP4. The Hulk game based off the movie that kind of flopped and everyone made fun of. Game's alright. Then we have Crash 4, just like a case for some reason. Crash 4, The Wrath of Cortex. Honestly, I think Crash 4 looked better on the Xbox than it did on the PS2, on Sony's own machine. Maybe it looks even better on a regular PS2 rather than a slim PS2. Maybe that's why I feel that way. But I just don't like the color and lighting of the PlayStation 2 version when I put it into the PS2. It might just be the PS2 I have. I don't know. Because I would think it would look better on Sony's own machine. Because it's Sony's franchise. Whatever. We have the original Star Wars Battlefront. The original. From back in the early 2000s. What year was it? 2004. Amazing. Not the shitty ones that came out for the Xbox One and so on later. We have Star Wars Battlefront 2 OG from 2005. Definitely one of my favorite games. It's actually in the Xbox right now. I love the fuck shit up in that one. Then we got in this. It's not actually the original Star Wars Battlefront again. I just don't have the case for this particular game. It's Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I have the instruction book too. It's the funny part. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and apparently it's packaged with Tetris World. I should probably keep my nail off of that disc. Although I think it just reads the inside here. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, 2003 era game. You're mostly in vehicles all the time. Republic tanks taking down Confederate and Sith vehicles. We have Sonic Heroes here. I don't know why I'm opening them all of a sudden. It's a Sonic Heroes game. You have a team of 3. You can either be light, dark, chaotix, which we referred to before, or the Amy's team, Rose team, and you do 4 different stories. Then we have Shadow the Hedgehog, never opened. I bought it because I thought it would be funny, and it's Shadow the Hedgehog with a gun, and it was a flawed game, and everyone made fun of it. It wasn't just darkness; it was advanced darkness. It was Shadow the Hedgehog. Then we have the SpongeBob SquarePants movie game, which I completed 100% around the same time I was doing LP 4 and 5. While I was waiting for Ophelia to come back for the rest of her videos. And eventually just moved on to LP 6 and 7 and so on. Then I shouldn't talk down on it. Anyway, we have the Spider-Man, the movie, the game from 2002, based off the movie where he fights Green Goblin. LP 8, you all know. Then it's the same case, but don't be fooled. This is actually Spider-Man 2, the movie, the game, from when he fights Doc Ock. This one I actually took from my cousin instead of buying, because he had it, and he didn't even have an original Xbox anymore. So like, here, take it. But he had the case at one point. I think what happened was I took the CD, wrapped in something else instead of taking the case with me. Because my dad felt weird about me taking games from my cousin, even though he wasn't using them anymore. And I was like, whatever. So I just did that. And then later I came back for the case because I wanted it. And he didn't have the case anymore. He's like, I don't know what happened to it. So that's funny. I don't know why I told you that story, but it was a funny story. Then we have Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc. Same shit. I told you about it for the GameCube. Same game, LP9. Then we have Lego Star Wars, the video game, which got me in a lot of trouble when I was a kid because I would play over time instead of sticking to my regulated time period for playing games. Fantastic game. You play through the Star Wars movies, but as Legos and a little bit more comically. I think I have a certain amount of time I can do all this in. So, that's the original Xbox video games. Let's move on to the 360, which I have a lot more games than I remembered for. And we do a time check. Alright, that camera can fit a lot of data on it, so that's good. I just realized that this video is going to be so long, like an hour already, that I am never going to remember to edit out all the parts of me blowing my nose and leaving the table and getting up and checking something, so enjoy that. We have the Xbox 360. Bought this used I think like 1 or 2 years ago. Xbox 360. When I bought it, the door tray was broken, so I had to put a paper clip in here and get it to come out. And I literally replaced the tiny rubber band that fits in here. That makes the drive tray go in and out. I had to be like a fucking surgeon. I took the side off. I took the front panel off. I was in there with 2 sets of tweezers, fucking manipulating this shit to get it to go around the rotor wheel. It was an interesting time in my life. I think I live streamed it on my. Facebook. Took a while for me to think of it. I have a shit ton of 360 games. I didn't originally have a shit ton of 360 games, but I went to my cousin's one Christmas, and he was like, you know what? I have a lot of 360 games I'm never going to want to play anymore. I have an Xbox One now, and I prefer using that. Or maybe it was the PS4, I'm not sure. So like, he was like, you could basically pillage my library, and I can tell you what you can steal and what you can't. So I did that. In my oh my, do I have a haul. And some of these I did buy on my own, but a lot of it I didn't. Oh. So which of these did I get on my own though? I just want to see how many. These 2 for sure. I bought this one. No. Yeah, I bought this one like years and years and years before I even had an Xbox 360. I bought this when the only thing I had was this original Xbox and this PS2, and I had nothing else. Like, I bought that at that time. I don't know why. Because I'm an idiot. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. I think I was trying to buy the original Xbox version of this. But I was just being dumb. Yeah, so these 2 games I bought on my own. Everything else I pilfered from my cousin. Because he didn't want it anymore. I mean, if he doesn't want it anymore, might as well go to someone, right? So we have, I showed you Lego Star Wars, the video game for the original Xbox. Here's the version, because the original one that I showed you, Lego Star Wars, the video game, is just for the prequels. Revenge of the Sith, Attack of the Clones, Phantom Menace. This game, which got me banned from video games for a while as a kid because I wouldn't put it down. And stick to my time limits. It's like Lego Star Wars, but for A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. That's 4, 5, 6. So that's that. And then we got Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, which is like Lego Star Wars 1 and 2 combined with a lot of changed features and a lot of changed parts of their levels and a lot of added levels and shit. So, nice little updated version of that. Let's go through what I got from my cousin here. Oh my god, this one's just unopened. Oh, I bought this one too. It's Rocksmith. Basically, you would hook an electric guitar up to it and play songs, and it's like Guitar Hero, but with an actual fucking guitar, which I thought was really cool. So I bought this. I have an electric guitar. I don't know if it has to be compatible with this or how that would work, but I think there's some other shit you would need to buy as well to make that work. And I haven't really researched it too much. I just thought it was a cool idea. So we got Rainbow Six Vegas 2, a shooting game. Nice, fantastic. Grand Theft Auto 5 needs no introduction. I'm surprised you didn't want this, actually, now I think about it. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. At least one of these has something different than what is on the box inside of it. Then we have Batman Arkham Asylum. Very good game. Then we have a game that I played with Elijah, not recording, in between Shadow of the Colossus bits, called Batman Arkham City. Which, I know that's what's in there. Oh shit, then we have a PS2 game. I should put it with the fucking PS2. Well, let me do that. I didn't even realize I had done that. I'm an idiot. Then we have Batman Arkham Origins, so like the third Batman Arkham game. Because those games are cool. Oh, and I only took games I thought I might like from him. If there was the games that he didn't want, but I didn't want it either, I didn't bother taking it. Then we have Call of Duty 2. Special Edition. Cool. We have Assassin's Creed 3. Yes, very cool. And we have Call of Duty Black Ops. Alright, great. I never got huge into the Call of Duty games, but I did play some of them. We got Grand Theft Auto 4, but it's in a box that says Vice City, but that's a separate game. But what's actually in here is Grand Theft Auto 4. Because I couldn't find his Grand Theft Auto 4 case. And I couldn't find Vice City either. So So that was an interesting. We have an original Xbox game, so I should put it with the... Oh, it's just an empty case. An empty case for Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I'm doing my own personal organizing in front of all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how that happened. Well, I have that case now. We have Splinter Cell, Stealth Action Redefined, Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. Okay. Then we have, actually, let me open it because oh, shit. So we have that game, but inside of here is actually 2 discs, and one of them doesn't belong here. I don't know how you can live like this. I didn't do this. And inside it is a game called Crisis 2 for the 360. Hang on to that for a second. We have Aliens vs. Predator. Very cool. Based on that movie, I assume. Then we have The Lord of the Rings, War of the North. The Lord of the Rings game. Fantastic. Oh. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts. Banjo-Kazooie fans usually don't like this game. They took Banjo-Kazooie and made it into this weird vehicle building simulator for reasons that no one understands. Apparently, Call of Duty Black Ops and an unmarked case. We have the Iron Man movie game. That's fun. I like a lot of movie games. I used to have the Incredibles Iron Man movie game. I used to rent it when I was a kid. Then we have Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 for the Xbox 360. So I have that. And also the original Star Wars The Force Unleashed for the 360. So I have both of them. I didn't even realize I had both of them. That's nice. That's nice. What to do about Crisis? I guess just put it back from whence it came. And all will be okay. All will be well. Where was it? Where was it? It was not you. It was the one after you. Splinter Cell. That's what he did. Put it inside the instruction booklet so it doesn't scratch the other disc. Fantastic. I have no. You know what? I have CD things, CD holders. So I'll remember to do that later. I'm just gonna leave that there for now. It'll probably drive all of you nuts, like it will me. Go CD. Woo! What a stack. That's bigger than my Wii stack? I think it's bigger than all my stacks. Yeah, just about. I used to have a stack of PS2 games bigger than that, but I was an idiot and I got rid of them for like nothing. And I realized how stupid I was years later. Anyway, Xbox 360, that's it. Then we have an Xbox One S. This is an Xbox One S. I wasn't going to get that for a while, but then I had a coworker who subscribed to me, and Kiker, very nice going to you, who was like, hey, I'll give you this Xbox One S for X amount of money. So I gave it to him because it was a steal. So I got this Xbox One S because he barely ever used it. And because of that, I only have one game for it. And the one game I have is Sunset Overdrive. If you don't know it, Donkey made a video about it. I think he was making fun of it. I don't remember. Basically, the premise of the game, I played it for like 10 minutes or so, is that there's a new energy drink that comes out, and it turns everyone into monsters. So it's like Armageddon. Everyone's like an energy drink monster. So there's one big hunky guy. Actually, you can customize your character. He goes around and he starts shooting them, and he destroys them all. And I haven't played much past that, but that was the basis of that game. And that's all the Xbox shit. Time to move on to the 4 PlayStation consoles over there. So, we're going to start with the original PlayStation. I bought this used on Amazon. My aunt had a PlayStation 1 in her day, but we didn't know where it went, so I couldn't pilfer it off of her. Original PlayStation, I have... What else would you think I would have? We have the original Crash Bandicoot, obviously. Right there. Boom. We have Crash Bandicoot 2. What's it called? Cortex Strikes Back. We have the original Crash Bandicoot 3, Warped. Then we have, for some reason, duplicates of Crash 1 and Crash 3. I think this duplicate of Crash 1 doesn't work, and this duplicate of Crash 3 does. Then we have Spyro the Dragon. Very nice play. They actually remastered this for the PS4, just like they remastered the Insane trilogy. And then they have Power Rangers. Power Rangers Lightspeed Rescue. I couldn't read that for a while. Power Ranger game, apparently. And Twisted Metal 3. What people often call the worst Twisted Metal game. Twisted Metal is like a really fucked up, edgy video game where you're driving up in cars and shooting each other. To the tune of Rob Zombie. So those are my PS1 games. Let's move on to the PS2. I have the Slim PS2. I bought this from another high school friend. Who borrowed it back and then didn't give it back for a while and then eventually gave it back to me. He donated most of the PS2 games. And then I added a little bit to the library after that fact. I should also get a regular PS2 too. One that's like bigger. I don't know. I think it might be more powerful, but I also think both that one and the original only had 2 controllers. It was only the original Xbox that could take 4. Let's look at the PS2s though. So for the PS2 games, I also have Star Wars Battlefront II from 2005. So I have it for both the Xbox and the PS2. I've 100% completed it for both too. I don't know why I bothered. I have NBA 2K7. I don't play basketball games though. I have God of War 2. And they've obviously made a new God of War game that looks awesome. We have Ace Combat 04 Shattered Skies. I haven't played that. It looks cool in the box though. So I still have it. Battlefield 2 Modern Combat. Battlefield game. We have Star Wars The Force Unleashed for the PlayStation 2. So I have it for both the Xbox 360 and the PS2. Obviously the Xbox 360 is a little more powerful. Then we have Spider-Man the movie, the game, but for the PS2 version, which is lacking one of the levels that the original Xbox version I showed you has, so that's unfortunate. Then we have Crash Bandicoot, The Wrath of Cortex, PS2, and this is the original PS2 release, and the reason why. So basically, I think Crash Wrath of Cortex looks a little bit better on the original Xbox, as I said, but if you have the original PS2 release, there was a glitch where in the Wizards and Lizards time trial, and only that level, if you hit the clock and then hit select, you would teleport to the end of the level. You could get a sub 5-second time trial. So that's amazing. So I did a video where I showed that off that I thought was hilarious. It was one of the tied end videos. So I finished Crash Bandicoot 4 LP6 years ago, but I went back and did one video where I showed that off. That's basically all I did. Shadow of the Colossus for the PS2, LP10. Elijah and I did that on a whim one day. It was fantastic. Then we have Eco, which is like, if I'm remembering this correctly, Shadow of the Colossus was the spiritual successor to Eco. No, the other way around. Eco was the spiritual successor to Shadow of the Colossus. Actually, I'm not sure which way it goes. Hold on, let's see. No, okay, so Shadow of the Colossus is 2005. Eco is 2001. So obviously this game is a spiritual successor to Eco. Right. I actually bought this recently. Charlie didn't own this recently. And I also bought this recently. Charlie didn't have that recently. But the friend who I gave it to me. And also I was the one who bought this one and Spider-Man the movie the game. I think I got Spider-Man the movie the game for the PS2 for like cents too. It was hilarious. Like a few cents. Awesome. And then this came from my cousin that I pilfered, that I just realized now is a PS2 game. Crash Twinsanity. Although now I think about it, if I open the box, yep, it's Crash Twinsanity in there. Fantastic. Never actually played it, but I've heard funny things about it. I've heard people rant about it for a while. It was really funny. Alright, and that's PS2. Now it's time for the PS3, which I bought used from... No, I bought used from GameStop. Hold on. Xbox 360 bought used from GameStop. PS3 bought used from GameStop. Refurbished from GameStop. Which is actually a bad idea. Don't give GameStop your service, because Apparently, the way they refurbish the consoles is very bad. There's a guy who has a YouTube channel who talks about it, so don't trust them. But here we have the PS3 games. We have Borderlands, the pre-sequel. Elijah and I were walking through Walmart, and he was really like, hey, let's pick that up and play it. And we did, and we've played it a few times now. It's very cool. Little Big Planet 1 and 2, actually. Little Big Planet 1 and 2. I bought this when I originally bought the PS3, just to have some games for it. I don't know how this... So, in high school, someone explained Little Big Planet to me, and I didn't think it was that exciting. I play it now. It's hard to describe what Little Big Planet is. You're like little sack people trying to get through levels, get through puzzles. It is kind of cool. It's a nice look. It's kind of a platformy type game. So it's fantastic. Then The Last of Us, which is a zombie fighting game. And that's the way I describe all zombie fighting games, because they're all the same to me. Although this one does have an emotional aspect to it. It's very cool. Then I have Dark Souls. I have Dark Souls for the PS3. So those are the PS3 games. And finally, last and certainly not least, we have the PS4. This PS4 is special. It comes with Vader's face on it. And, you know, it says Star Wars across it. I actually got this from Lionel Geomancer, who was here earlier recording the anniversary video with me, which took a lot less long than this, which I thought was going to be the other way around. But Lionel, he bought a Switch, and that's all he plays anymore, apparently. So he wanted to sell me his PS4, and I took that offer, and now I have a PS4, and I basically have almost every console except for the Switch, which he now has. So if I want to play the Switch, he can come over, we can play some Switch. And he's done that. And I have a number. I have a number of games in PS4. First, these were all his games, which he just transferred over to me. Plants vs. Zombies, GW2 Deluxe. I had a friend who was very into this game and had me play it with him. So I played it only in that context. I haven't actually put this disc inside this console. It was okay. Then we have Evolve. It looks like you're fighting a demon or something. Oh, a monster. It is called a monster. So you're fighting monsters. Fantastic. I haven't played it. Another Plants vs. Zombies game, Garden Warfare. Okay, so there was Garden Warfare, and then there was Garden Warfare 2. I get it now. That's cute. That's funny. And then we have Infamous Second Son, which I know nothing about and never will. Well, I will if I ever put the game into the console. But then we have this one. He actually gave this to me on my birthday. Star Wars Battlefront, the deluxe edition, like the one that everyone likes to make fun of because it kind of destroyed our memory of the Battlefront series as we knew it. And we have, I bought this like a few. Okay, so I bought this after the Super Bowl. It's Madden 19. I bought this after the Super Bowl because in high school I was really into, in 8th grade even, I was really into watching football, watching Patriots. Because my dad was into football. He was a Redskins fan who became a Patriot because of where we were living. And because he was tired of not winning. I'm not like a diehard. Like I have a Patriots blanket that was, you know, I've had since 7th grade, but I don't like go out in the street and like rah rah Patriots rah rah. But I do enjoy watching the games and understanding how the structure of who gets into the playoffs and who wins and blah 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 all that works. Because I like gaming of all kinds, and that's a kind of game. Well, obviously it is a game. You know, and how the seasons operate and how placement works. So when they won the Super Bowl, I was like, hey, I kind of like this idea of football, and I want to play those Madden games again, because I used to play Madden 09 for the Wii with my father. I don't have that right now. It had Drew Brees on the cover. So I bought Madden 19, and I realized how I suck at football games, and I wasn't very good at it. So I've been struggling since last night. I was staying up late, even though I was going to record the anniversary video today, trying to get good at Madden 19. It hasn't happened yet, but it might happen later, so we'll see. Pretend I never stopped. So, Game Boys. You might notice I have quite a few. We have the original Game Boy, old school Game Boy with Chess Master in it. I didn't even realize I had Chess Master in it. That's kind of funny. I used to have that game for PC when I was a little boy. Except it was Chess Master 2000. Oh, bring up all the. I also have an original Game Boy cartridge for Tetris. Believe it or not. So that's the original Game Boy. Then we have a Game Boy Color. Same, a little tiny bit smaller than the original Game Boy, but it was more compact. I have the purple version, great version, because that's. I got all of these from Amazon basically, but when I was a kid, I had the purple version because a babysitter gave a purple Game Boy Color to me, and so I bought the same color. And for that, I have Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow, all the Gen 1 Pokemon games, because I'm a big Gen 1er, and I'm just trading with myself to fill out my Pokedex in Red. The only thing that's keep holding me back, because I've been doing it for a while, is the goddamn casino, where you do the slots and you have to get 9,999 for Porygon. And basically, I do it for a while, and I remember that I'm getting bored, and then I just stop doing it for months and months and months, because I hate that part of the game. And so that's the only reason why I haven't completed that task at the moment. That's the Game Boy Color. Then we have the Game Boy Advance. And black version, like the one I think I might have lost on an airplane. So here's the story. My father tells me that I lost this Game Boy on a plane once. I think I was just bugging him so much on that plane trip about my video games that I didn't lose it, but you know, he made the loss happen. Like, he might have got rid of it and said, you know what, yeah, you definitely lost it, dude. Because I was an annoying kid. I wouldn't blame him if that's what happened. And we have a number of games. That's my conspiracy theory in my head. For the Game Boy Advance. And that includes Rayman 3, which I have 2 copies of, because I was doing this with Duncan and Jada, and both of their Game Boys had to have a copy of the game, apparently. Actually, I'm not even sure that was true. I think you had to take it out for that minigame to work. Anyway, didn't stop me from buying. We have Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2, basically a Game Boy version, a Game Boy port of the SNES game, Super Mario World, which I don't currently own, but I have it on the Virtual Console. Oh yeah, shit. On the Wii and Wii U, I have games on Virtual Console. Let me talk about that. We have Crash the Huge Adventure, the Crash Bandicoot game for the GBA. That is very much reminiscent of the PlayStation original Crash Bandicoot games, those 4 games. Mario Kart Super Circuit, another Mario Kart game in my discography. And Pokemon Fire Red version. It's the Gen 3 remake of Pokemon Red version. So that's that. Now, on the Wii, I have a number of games on Virtual Console, which include mostly N64 games I already own, like Paper Mario, Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, and nothing special. On the Wii U, I actually have Super Mario RPG, Legend of the Seven of the Lost Stars, on Virtual Console. I've never played it. It's basically a predecessor to the Paper Mario series. It's like the Mario RPG before that. And I'm trying to think if I have anything else on those Virtual Consoles before I close out this video forever and ever and end it, because it's been drawing on. But it's escaping me. Can't be that important anyway. I'll eventually own all the things. Don't worry, I'm working on it. Alright, well, that's the fucking video. Oh, the DS! I keep forgetting shit. Man, I need someone with a whip to, like, keep me in line. The Nintendo DS. It's a DSi. My parents actually bought it for me after, like, a couple-year ban from playing video games at all. And they eased me back into it with a DS. Black DSi. Very cool. And we have a number of games games for this DSi, and all of these games I'm about to show you, like some of these games I haven't played, honestly, that I've showed you, or opened up, or completed completely. All the games I have for the DS have been completed 100%, because it's the only console I had at the time. And let us go through the list. Actually, this one has a case, so I'm going to put this back in its slot. So, the first game I ever got was Mario Kart DS. That was the first DS game I ever got, Mario Kart DS, after my big hiatus from video games. We got Super Mario 64 DS. It was a reboot of the Super Mario 64 of Mario Kart. This Super Mario 64 DS is a reboot of Mario 64. It was very well done. It looks gorgeous. You play as Yoshi, Luigi, and Wario as well, and they have like 30 additional stars, and some of the stars have to be obtained by different people. I loved how this worked, honestly. Personally, myself, I loved it. Then we have Star Wars: The Complete Saga for the DS. Play Lego Star Wars on the Xbox or the PlayStation. Don't play on the fucking DS. I'm just saying. This one wasn't awful, but it wasn't fantastic either. I mean, if you want to play something on a handheld and you want to play Lego Star Wars on a handheld, I guess. It's just not the best thing. There's a lot of mini games. I guess that's it. It's a very watered down version of what you would get on the console, though. Then we have Sonic Classic Edition. Basically, you have Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic and Knuckles. And Sonic and Knuckles. And the different combinations of Sonic 1, 2, and 3 with Knuckles. On here, which is basically what you would get on this Genesis right here that I own. But I could play it on the go, and I like that. And you can have save and load states. So that's an interesting twist. Then we have the Mario and Luigi series is basically another RPG series, but separate and a little bit zanier than Paper Mario. A little less serious. I prefer the Paper Mario series myself, which is why I really hate it when I hear Nintendo employees say, because they're turning Paper Mario into something it's not, and it's no longer a real RPG series. They're like, oh, well, if you want an RPG series, play Mario and Luigi. I'm not that into Mario and Luigi, but I thought it was fun. And one game from Mario and Luigi that I really loved was Bowser's Inside Story. It's a great game. I loved it. It was fantastic. Turn-based, all that shit. Strategy. I just like Paper Mario more. And honestly, I like console RPGs more than I like handheld RPGs anyway. In general, I like console games more than handheld games. Anyway. Then we have an older Mario and Luigi, because this Mario and Luigi series has had a ton of games. And I've only played 2 of them. We have Mario and Luigi Partners in Time, which takes place before Bowser's Inside Story. So there's that. I played that too. It was good. It was okay. Bowser's Inside Story, definitely better. We have Yoshi's Island DS. Basically in the spirit of the Yoshi's Island game that was for the SNES and was also for the Game Boy, which was Super Mario Advance 3. Except you have Baby Mario and Baby Wario, Baby Peach, Baby Bowser, and Baby DK. Or Bowser Jr. No, it was just Baby Bowser. They all have different abilities. There's all different levels. It's not the same as... It's not a port at all. It's a completely different Yoshi's Island. That was cool. I also had a game called Yoshi's Touch and Go. That was basically a glorified minigame that I got rid of. I literally purged it from my library because I thought it was so stupid. So I used to own that, and I don't now. So that's that. Then we have Sonic Rush, which is a DS Sonic game. Like, not a Sonic game that used to be on here, but it's an actual, like, new Sonic game for that time. Created in 2004. It's not that bad. It's not the greatest game I've ever played. You can play as either Sonic or Blaze the Cat. I think this is when Blaze came into existence, actually. Actually, 4 games left and the battery decides to die. Also, you're going to see some bits after this that were supposed to be at the end of everything, but I've completely forgotten to do the handhelds because I'm a fucking idiot. But basically, this was the last thing I had to do. Anyway, New Super Mario Brothers. I played this more than the Super Mario Brothers for the Wii. 100% in it. It's decent. I like it. It's fantastic. It works. It works as a Mario game. Fantastic. You collect the stars as well. There's some mini games. There's a lot of mini games. Like, way too. There's a version. There's like Mario Poker in there. That's not actual poker. It's very strange. But then we got. So I told you told you that Lego Star Wars: The Original Trilogy on the DS was okay, but kind of bad, and that you should probably play it on a console rather than on a DS, but it was passable. There's then Lego Star Wars 2, The Original Trilogy on the DS, and my god. Do noi buy. I mean, this game was awful. It's just bad. It's really buggy. It obviously has 4, 5, 6. It looks like shit. Like, this doesn't look great. This looks like complete shit. It looks like colonoscopy footage. You don't want to put yourself through this. Maybe it's just a so bad it's funny type thing, but don't do it. It's an awful game. There's this one, I remember this so clearly. There's like, and I haven't played it since high school. There's one, like, there's mini games and there's special areas. There's one special area called the Sarlacc Pit. That was supposed to be, I don't even know what. There's like a couple things, the collectibles, the things to break or something. Not collectibles. But Sarlacc Pit in the center where you can die. You can't actually do anything there. And I could not describe to you how fucking weird this place was. There was like these fighters flying around, but they weren't even flying. They were like janking around, like going sideways, up and down, like fucking fruit flies. And then there was like not even in a physically appropriate way. And then there was like, I couldn't describe it. You would have to. It looked like something they had halfway developed that they meant to do something particular with and just never finished. Like, it was awful. But the whole game was awful, too. We have Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2 for DS. Play on the Xbox. Even play on the Wii. Don't play on the DS. Actually, you know what? No, I'll take it back. It wasn't terrible on the DS. Like, there's some touch control shit they worked in there. It was okay. If you are bored and you want a handheld game to play, that's okay. This is fine. Like, it's just like it's better on the console, so you should play on that. Then it's very cinematic on the console too. It looks beautiful. Then we have Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron, a DS Battlefront game. Is it good? No, it is not. There's like 4 classes. They have their special purposes, but like it's just like very simplified, very stupid. Your guy in the end becomes a Jedi and fights a Sith Lord. It's just not a great game. Not a great Battlefront game. Not a great handheld game. It's not a great anything, really. Like, I guess it's fun the first time you play. It's okay. But again, it's why it's on the bottom of the stack. It's not good. Don't do it. Do noi buy, as Shippy would say, which he doesn't anymore because Tugs is canceled and he is nowhere in that Internet Today space anymore. I'm sure he's doing something though. I don't know if he's using that same personality. Anyway, cut to the shit from after this and go. So, that is all my equipment. I mean, you see my microphone, you see my computer. The camcorder recording this is actually borrowed from a help desk I used to work for. But I'm buying my own tripod and camera. In fact, I could probably show off the tripod right now. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm not going to do that. What I will do is do have my own tripod and my own camcorder, which I'm working on. And I have the monitor for the PC because that's the only thing I don't have yet. And maybe I might even have a separate webcam for that PC instead of using my tripod and camcorder camera. When I have all that, I'm going to make a video of me assembling that PC. I might show off the camera and the tripod. Yeah, that's basically it. I'm basically gonna get a camera where there's a microphone on top of it, so that I don't have to like sneak this microphone somewhere near my face whenever I'm doing this kind of video, which is gonna be a lot less often now because I'm live streaming rather than pre-recording shit. So yeah, I just like before I buy all that shit, I kind of have to recover from the expense of buying all the expensive parts for this computer. which was an expensive process. I also have to make sure I have everything, because I haven't done that yet. And return policies, and oh yeah, I should get on that. Yeah, that's basically it. You know what I'm gonna do as my last hardware video? I'm gonna show you what you should not buy. Give me 1 second. 1 quick second to show you what you would never buy in your life, or hate yourself forever. And by the way, I said I would show it off. This is the Who But Mason box that has been housing the N64 since like 2005 or some crazy amount. I taped a vitamin water label to it in college, the one with the triple X that says the kind of XXX you can consume in front of your mother. So that's fun. I personalized it a little bit. But what you should never buy is a camcorder from fucking Bestecker. Because they have this, full HD camcorder from Bestecker. And it sucks. You know why it sucks? I don't think this is high enough. Hold on. And you know why it sucks? The reason why it is a terrible cam. Oh, I have to show up my handhelds. I'll do that in a second. The reason why it is awful, this fucking thing, is because the lips will not match the pacing of the audio. And no matter what you do, no matter how you slow or speed things up, your mouth is never going to match the audio of you talking. So never, ever buy this Bestecker HDV 312P camcorder. And probably don't buy anything from Bestecker at all, because that was a waste of money. So that's that. Now let me do what I forgot to do and talk about the goddamn 4 Game Boys and the DS I have there, because I completely spaced on that. Maybe I can at least do editing for that part. Anyway, that is all the shit I hold. Editing, well, I'm not going to edit too much of this. I'm going to edit just the end of this. But editing that anniversary video is going to be an interesting task for me to complete, because I recorded the anniversary video today on the 16th, and it's supposed to go up on the 19th, which is Tuesday. So I'm going to have to make sure I do that. President's Day I work from home, but only if I get some calls in, which hopefully, if it's lenient, that could be done. At lunchtime. You know, do that at lunchtime. Anyway, cut that last part out. Man, I am not too bright sometimes. Anyway, I'm going to have to edit these videos. Like I said, all I need now is a Switch, a PSP, and maybe an Atari or something like that, and the Namco games for the Atari. And then I'm going to leave it alone. I think I have enough consoles, and I'll just get the new ones that come out. Maybe the NES Classic. I say NES Classic, PS1 Classic, because they have games I don't. Other than that, I am so set with this loadout. I need to actually build the libraries rather than getting new consoles, because not all these games have a huge library, as you might have noticed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for humoring this addition to the Avon hardware playlist that will now be forever complete. And if you're watching this, we are soon going to start live streaming, so stay tuned. My only question is whether to do this before or after the Crash and Sane trilogies. I haven't actually decided. See ya. Bye. Karaoke time.